How to make your own LARP part 2. Well, part 1.5, but close enough. And here's why. Yes, hello, welcome back. So today it's going to be more how to make your own LARP, part 2, as I said, part 1.5. A couple of reasons why. It's this one, I don't know how to explain it. This is more sort of like a middle one, so I may not even call it that. Simply because there's something that I'm going to do. What I'm going to be doing over the coming months is I'm basically going to write my own LARP. I'm not going to be starting a game, anything like that. I don't have the time really to sort of full on put a game together at the moment. It's something that I'm looking to do further down the line, and when I say further down the line, I mean 2019. But what I'm going to be doing for you guys is almost sort of putting together a template set for you guys, so a file template set. So this will be for sort of encounter sheets, your general back office stuff, so you know, the boring stuff like your health and safeties, your risk assessments, figuring the costs, that sort of thing. Because it sounds very romantic writing your own LARP, but you will find that like 90% of it is the boring back end stuff, 10% of it's writing the good stuff. So that is something that I'm going to be putting together for you. It's going to take a little while, I'll be honest, because I've got nothing at the moment. I'm going to do it all completely from scratch. Sort of making templates as easy to use, that sort of thing. So that is something I'm going to be doing, especially for you guys, if anyone is interested in running their own LARP. Obviously, if it's only something that you're going to want to do sort of in your back garden with a few mates, which you can do, why not? Set up a few tents, it's a blooming good laugh. Then you can basically ignore half of the paperwork. But I'll also go sort of more in depth in regards to pacing. Because it can go a few different ways, and with the way that I write plot personally, I can basically, I have the main path, but it can swim and sway. Generally it ends up at the same place, but I normally write about 7 or 8 endings per plot. Not something you have to do, not something I would encourage doing, because that's a lot of paperwork. But yeah. I'm going to stuff it, you know what, I've got the time. Let's go slightly more in depth. So, ignore the back end boring stuff, be gone, be gone. I don't want to talk about that, that's boring, that's dull. I'll do that more in the proper part 2, although I guess part 3, because this is actually about to become a full episode that I wasn't planning, so hooray. Yeah, so with your pacing plot, I honestly can't even remember what I said last time, so if I'm going over bits again, I'm sorry. But pacing is quite important. You want to keep the players occupied, but you don't obviously want to be giving them stuff constantly. And it's a very, very fine line between not enough and too much. It's tough. It depends on a lot of things, mainly sort of how many players you've got. If you're friends with them anyway, then you know what, they're going to be a lot more relaxed about stuff. If they're paying, they're probably going to, well, they will be expecting more, which is very fair enough, because if you've got people paying for your LARP, you need to make sure that the system as a whole is running really well. Generally, when I'm going to start a LARP, my LARP is going to be very, very different, and I've never seen anything like it done, ever. It's an odd one, but it's a great idea. Can't wait to do it, sort of not next year, year after, because I'm not busy next year, but I just really want to get stuff sorted. But yeah, where was I? I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, when sort of putting your LARP together, I'm on track again. Yeah, when putting it together, first thing you really want to do is spend some time writing. And this isn't plot specifically. This is more going to be world building. So what sort of world are you setting it in? And I know I covered this slightly, I can kind of remember it. But you really do want to build up basically the story of the world, where the players are going to be playing. The more detailed you can make it without being too specific, because things can change down the line. So if you say a certain thing like, oh, this does this, and absolute devastation, universe destroyed, ripple, and then the players decide, you know what, fuck it, we're going to play with this thing, you've kind of got yourself in a corner there. So it's finding a good mix between being detailed with, you know, like locations, cultures, that sort of thing, but keeping it vague enough for more end game stuff. So there are no universal menaces. You may well have Cthulhu running around over there. He may be considered sort of an almost godlike being, but do not write him as if he is the be-all and end-all. Because player expectations are really weird. You could expect them to sort of go really well for a certain thing, but actually prefer a much smaller little thing. So yeah, when creating a plot, you know, a LARP, by all means, world building is a really important step. To me anyway. It does differ from person to person. By all means, please sort of put down in the comments below, you know, what sort of thing is important to you in regards to not necessarily creating your own LARP. We're not going to letterbox it, but in a LARP in general, what sort of thing do you prefer? Do you prefer sort of reading the lore, reading sort of backstories and finding out more about these planets, the things you would generally know anyway as a peasant or a new soldier, sort of going into this vast adventure? Or do you prefer very much sort of learning it as you go, so hearing it from other players or hearing it from NPCs, that sort of thing? I know I like a general mix of two. That's because I'm very lazy when it comes to reading. I don't really read. It's not for me. I love writing, but I hate reading. It's just laborious. I generally, if I'm got to read something, text to speech. Oh, brilliant. So yeah, pacing wise, tight line. It is hard. Only way to really sort of figure it out. I wouldn't time things out too specifically, because things change. Some encounters can overrun. Some encounters can go a lot shorter than you're anticipating. What I would normally say is, if you're going to do sort of a 2-day weekend, so you know, just do the Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Monday, or if you're doing a 3-day, write double, which seems very counterintuitive, but if you write double the amount that you will likely need, so basically if you plan out 4 to 6 days worth of plot, you can by all means time it if that's better for you. Then you get a general idea. So you can either overrun or you can underrun. It doesn't matter, you've still got plot to go. The only thing where you may come up on a problem with that sort of thing is with ending sort of stories. So if you're only meeting up, you know, maybe once, twice a year, then obviously you want the endings to be quite good, because you're not really going to see each other too much, so you want it to mean something there and then. That can be a problem, but what you can do with your stories is not necessarily write them in a fluid way. That's poor choice of words. But what you could do is basically write it in a way so you could almost insert the finale at any point. So you could do one encounter and then the finale shows up. Or what you can also do, so I'm just sort of running through things in my mind now, I'm playing it in my head, is you could always bring in NPCs for quick, like, you know, 10-15 minute chats. So, you know, if you're intending on basically an army coming through and having to hold back an army, you could have some civilian NPCs go towards the player group, battered, bruised, bleeding, letting them know that an army's coming just over the hill, and then you can have your monsters basically march through, and and then you can basically have the civilian NPCs going, please, you have to hold them back, you have to finish them, you have to hold them back. If not, they are going to destroy, you know, our towns, our villages. They're going to take everything from us. It's going to be game over. Maybe not say game over, that might be a little bit fourth wall break. Depends on the system. But yeah, so that's sort of a couple of bits. As I say, I'm going to work on a proper document for you guys, and I'll make another video basically going through the document. So it's going to be a much different video once I get it done, because it's probably going to be a lot of screen capture on my end, basically walking through, explaining the thought process and where and how to use sort of each of these forms, sheets, stats, that sort of, there's a lot of paperwork. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for now. But as I say, this is something that I will be coming back to again. It's one of those things where I haven't run a LARP myself yet, but I have run encounters for other systems, and basically run plot for other systems. I wouldn't say I've got a great idea of it, because I know a couple of guys who would be absolutely amazing to talk about this sort of thing, and that'd be Kim and Alex. I don't know if they watch this, but if you are, seriously, you guys know how to run plot. Basically all the kings keep lots. So you've got Kim, Alex, Jakob, and oh no, oh no, I've just forgotten his name. Ryan. But yeah, seriously, those guys are amazing at that sort of thing. I may try and sort of organise just getting a chat together at some point, because they're really, Kim and Alex are amazing at running plot, and Jakob and Ryan are amazing at writing plot as well. And it tackles, you know, adult themes as well, but it does it in such a brilliant way. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm not sure when I'm uploading this, whether it's before or after the update video. So yeah, stuff it. I'll see you later.